And we're live. Welcome to Baguio Life Radio. I'm going to put out a disclaimer. After this show, after this, and we're live. Welcome to Baguio Life Radio. I'm going to put out a disclaimer. After this show, after this show will only remain up 24 hours. Contact me on email. I got feedback. Shit. Okay. I'm going to put out a disclaimer. This is going to stay up for 24 hours. If you know me, send me an email and I will send you a link for the show. Okay. Welcome, Johnny Warrior, Expat TV.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, guys, one of the reason why we're having this particular show is some of the pushback from our conversation over at the Shill, which would have been last night for me, but this morning around noon for a lot of the guys in the Philippines. And the deal with that is, I want to kind of make a couple things clear, is this is something that's been it wasn't a spontaneous thing. It was something that was actually talked about and mulled over. And, you know, it wasn't just me. It wasn't just Eric. It was, you know, a lot of people, quite a few people who had kind of discussed it and made a decision. Now, anything that was talked on that show was solely, you know, on my own behalf. I think there's a misunderstanding that there was some kind of organization of me being a representative of all
Both
communities. What?
Both of us.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you spoke on your behalf. I spoke on my behalf. That's all it was. It was an attempt, because when we started these more positive shows on this channel, we made a public statement that we wanted to take a little bit more of a leadership role in the community and be positive. So that's what, on that vice, on that objective, that is what motivated us to go over and talk on the show. And come to find out, you know, it was actually a really good show. There was a lot of discussion and a lot of things got rectified. My personal issues with me with some other people, not necessarily Jay, but with some other people, were rectified and laid to rest. And, you know, I have no whatsoever do I have any sort of regret on doing that show with Jay and the panel. And I actually got to talk to some of the panel that I'd never even met before, like V, the guy V. He's actually a pretty cool kid, man. Pretty cool guy.
Lives in Duma.
Actually, I think he's living in Southern Cal right now, but when he comes to the Philippines, he's in Duma a lot. And he's a really knowledgeable guy. And as far as like the area and things to do and stuff like that. So, you know, that was kind of the motivating factor behind it. It wasn't like I was trying to represent.
Nobody was.
Yeah.
Because honestly, Johnny didn't have it. He put out 100K, made the threat. Okay. I moved on past it. This whole thing, can I say something, Johnny?
Well, you're going to say something
okay. I'm going to say something anyway. So
yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that he and I had this discussion on and off for what, about a week almost?
Maybe even more than that. Now, and it wasn't just me and you. I don't want to drop any.
We talked. I just talked to you about it, but I know you saw counsel in other places. I preface the fact is that what's going on between, I'm not even going to say it, is their business. I went there to say on my behalf, I'm done with it. I don't want to be involved in it and try that. That's the way it went.
God honest truth, man. I felt pretty good after the show, and this morning I'm not having any second thoughts or regrets, and I feel like, hey, and here's another thing. we were able to communicate with them some of the goals of the charity work and stuff like that. They helped out with the charity. I got 3 people donated a total of $100 to Operation Backpack because they liked the idea, and they have some good ideas relative to some of the issues between a couple of the individuals' personalities that are involved with things that are going to have more of a healthy approach rather than just spewing and going back and forth. And we were able to address the doxing, right?
I did.
Well, we, as in Jay and I, actually publicly had a conversation about the doxing and how it is a dangerous situation where here you've got people putting out personal information in places, a home, locations, a home, and somebody out there, because we know that we do have a few in our community that just aren't quite right in the head, and they could end up with somebody actually hurt. And then where does that responsibility really lie on those individuals who are doxing?
And actually, can I say something? Afterwards, I went over to Bama's chat. I wasn't speaking for all veterans. I was speaking for me, saying, yes, you were a man. You apologized. I didn't address any other issues that were going on. That was it. So,
yeah, I think we made it clear that, we went over there on our own personal lives for our own objection.
Yeah. And he said, that's fine. And I said, you take your fight up with A and B. You guys have your own issues, work them out.
No, I think
and hold on, it gets even better. The guy that another channel had a problem with got blocked over there while I was there. So if you go back and listen to it, he blocked him.
Yeah.
So
I honestly think it's healthy to have dialogue. I mean, okay, look, we're all adults in this genre. And generally, when we put our big pants on and we have an issue with somebody, we come to them straightly and try to be as respectful as possible to air our grievances, right? Now, granted, there was a point in time on that show last night with a particular individual. I wasn't very respectful, but at the end of that conversation, that grievance was aired, apology was given, and then, it actually kind of took me back a little bit because I didn't know what to do, because the whole point that I had an issue with the individual, he had just apologized for, and I was like, okay.
I didn't.
Well, now what do I do?
I haven't arrived at anything, and I was rude to the guy, and you called me out on it, which I appreciate. So, and I basically explained that issues between us are finished, over with. He agreed. I said, now you take your issues to the person that you have issues with.
And that was not rude. That was actually correct, because like you had just said, you were there on your own personal. If he has to address those issues with the individuals. And look, I actually hope that there's a couple of these guys that I would actually like to see the conversation with, and I hope that there's more dialogue in the future between the two, because I think that would be these cool little sub shows that would have good information and good topic content. Because there was a couple of the guys on the panel, and I can't remember all the names of the people that are on the panel.
Mike.
Like Mike. Yeah, maybe in the past that there's been some pretty obnoxious things said, but if you listen to the content of what he's driving in, the points that he's making, and some of his when they're on actual topics, not bashing people out. There was a couple shows over the last couple days that had a lot of good local information for people who were going to go out and you know, come for the first time. Just like Nico's show last night. You know what I mean? Nico and MJ put out a lot of good information on things to go. You know,
I've never heard about.
But I thought it was good.
I mean, you know, I mean, how can I put it? It came to the point where people getting dragged in, i.e. Nico, i.e. your GoFundMe. It's like a water balloon. We keep adding water and adding water to it and adding water to it. It's going to blow sooner or later.
Well, you know, the biggest concern, and this was one of the things that
hold on. Does he want to talk? If Dave wants to talk, we'll get him a link.
Yeah, throw him a link.
If he wants to come on and talk, he can throw him.
Okay, but all you got to do is throw him a link on Facebook. I mean, we don't have to keep talking about it.
Okay, let me.
Because don't pressure it. Let's not pressure any one individual.
I'm not putting any pressure. If he wants to come out and have a dialogue, he's more than welcome.
It's not gonna get on here and fight, man. Everything's fine. He probably has some constructive things to say on the topic.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not getting on you, Eric, but I'm gonna say this blanketly because this is something that happens a lot. It's human nature for us to use our experiences and our emotions in order to develop assumptions, right? And in this genre, here in YouTube, it's so easy for us to operate under assumptions. And when we start assuming that a particular individual is going to get mad because of what we say or the reaction, or maybe they do get mad, but don't assume that it's just like going to stay like that forever, right? We're only human, and we're going to develop our own ideas and our own reactions to things, and everybody has the right to their opinions. They have a right to their emotional responses. They have, you know, a right to their reactions as long as it's not physical violence, right?
Exactly.
So,
hold on, I'm gonna put this out in the chat. He can use it, and I'm gonna take it out in as soon as he joins us because I don't want it out there. I'm simplifying things tonight. Go ahead. We'll just wait for him to show up, and I'll monitor.
You know, and that's the thing.
Here we go. It's here. Welcome, Quentong Baloo.
Is it me, or are you guys having communication problems?
I'm hearing Johnny fine.
I'm hearing you. I just hear some static or something.
You know what, man? Lately, and it's not just this show, but lately, like on Nico's, remember the open mic sound and all that stuff? It sounds like there's something going on in the background.
I don't hear it anymore. It may have just been when I initially turned on the thing.
Yeah.
I think we're okay now.
Okay.
Okay, I was listening. I'm sorry.
Okay. You know, it just I think that, you know, we make assumptions. Okay, me. I'm going to use me as an example on this. I get passionate about a lot of topics. And I, you know, can get a little, especially the veteran thing. You know, I do go off the reservation a lot when somebody's bagging on the vets or something like that. And I may take it way to the outfield on my reaction on it. But, you know, I'm passionate about it. But there's an automatic assumption that when I'm doing that there's no way that I'll have a conversation about it. You know? And they just automatically assume that I'm just gonna, you know, okay, so I'm heated, and the discussion may be heated at first, but the dialogue will improve over time, and I'm willing to have a logical discussion, if it's just rhetoric and the freaking, you know, elementary school crap, right? It's not worth having. But I'm willing to have a logical, opinion-based conversation with somebody that wants to have dialogue. Don't assume that I'm just going to go ape shit and scream and yell. Although I guess maybe I am not a good example of that, because I'm sitting here thinking about last night and I was screaming and yelling at that one guy. So I don't know. I guess it wasn't a good example. But I'll tell you offline. It was
okay. If it's who I think it was, I don't think you were screaming and yelling. I think you have to compete with that guy for volume. Otherwise, you can't be heard. That's why I don't talk to him.
I was told today I was rude to the guy.
Whatever.
He's the one that said it to me.
Look,
not him.
I'm not trying to bring any shit or drama to what you guys are doing right now, but the only reason that guy apologized to you is because he knew that his ass was in imminent danger. I heard it.
Yeah, that's.
But true. At least it sounded sincere, and I guess that's good enough. I'm blocked. Where am I blocked? I don't think I'm blocked here. I've got a wrench here.
Yeah, you can't be blocked and have a wrench.
Look, here's my point of contention. It is not with you guys at all, and I already just put out a 1-hour show apologizing, by the way, and I redirected traffic over here, so not because I didn't think you could get traffic, but because I wanted people to listen. These guys have said some really bad stuff to draw me into this argument, and they shouldn't have. And I wasn't bothering them, and I'm not kidding. And it's not just me playing innocent either. Both of those guys have, and then they try to act all innocent. No, I don't know what's up Dave's butt, you know. Maybe the molestation claims and the threats to have me shot in the head or killed. This was a band claim, killed by a tandem rider by contract. I mean, why do I not have a right to be upset about these kind of things?
You do.
No, and that's not at all. Okay, that's not at all what the conversation was.
That's what I'm trying to get to. I want to listen to what you guys have to say about the conversation.
Yeah, you Dave, you have every right.
Okay.
I mean, you have every right to respond. What they said is heinous. Okay. And there's no, honest to God, it's who they are. And if they want to, they finally ever, if they can reflect back and sit down and actually reflect and put thoughts together about what happened, that's on them.
All right.
I'm saying my opinion.
Eric,
everything happened
without going backwards.
I'm not
holding the ground and looking forward. What it was is you were part of where the concern was relative to the safety, you know, because there was a lot of stuff going on and there was a lot of people being doxxed. Popeye, you know, they were dropping addresses,
you
know, and stuff like that relative to Popeye. There was a huge concern that somebody was going, and I'm not saying that Popeye was going to be the one that got hurt. Okay. Right. But there's a huge concern that some moron is going to take that information and go, oh, I'm going to be big man on YouTube.
Yep.
Right. And show up on the door with a camera wanting to kick his ass and show everybody on YouTube how much of a Billy badass. And that old fart will turn around and pump him full of hot nines. Right. And then now we have a situation. And it was a sobriety test to the whole community to understand that there's a point to have, you can have disagreement. You can have the argument, but it gets to a point where, and even Jay was saying the same thing. It is a safety issue. It is now getting way out of hand, and all this doxing now. Now, I don't think in any way, shape, or form that they're going to be the problems in the future, because now this other cat, you know, that actually both camps were bagging on the Myra video one. He's threatening to dox everybody. Okay. But and here you got a situation where it's becoming common habit that's the first thing that I'm going to do is I get mad at you and I'm going to air all your freaking information out publicly, which is causing the potential for some safety issues. You know, look, Popeye is very involved with his family, and his family's around him all the time. They don't need it, right? Popeye doesn't need it. And I'm just using him as an example. It's not me standing up for him or whatever. The guy can defend himself. Trust me.
I think we got it.
Yeah. Okay. But that was like the main purpose of going on there was to discuss the way it was going and the potential of what it was. And it ended up being a very constructive conversation. It's all the way around. I mean, did everything get resolved? No, because I was not there to talk on behalf of the community. I was there as a voice of reason to get people to think. That's it. All right. Because I didn't ask for an apology from any in there, nowhere, shape, or form. Did you hear me once ask for an apology or say that, now all the issues are under the bridge and everything is cool? Okay. Never once did I say anything like that.
No, I believe you. I just didn't have any perspective, which is why I made a public apology to you.
And I accept that, Dave. We're friends, man. I know you get a little hot at me a lot, but it's cool. No worries. I love you. I'll give you a hug.
Now, what about this whole issue with the Discord stuff?
I don't. Okay, we were actually going. Well, let's just talk about it, Eric.
We don't need to talk about it on here if you don't want.
Okay,
I'll let Eric lead it. No, you lead it because you're the one that's got to manage this.
Okay. When I was reading it, someone was standing over my shoulder, and due to family dynamic, it had to get nipped in the butt before 2 messages went out and caused a shitstorm.
Okay, that's particularly the one that was directed the comments about my wife. And what it was is somebody had seen it, right? And wanted to submit them to the wife and the sister.
Yes.
And there's no need for that because she's pregnant and it's not anything. And it was really it was just kind of a misguided, probably, the person who said it, or I'm assuming is saying it, it kind of shocked me that he would even go that route, right? So I'm a little confused of what to do about it, or even if I am going to do anything at all about it, because this is only my view, And it's not about everybody. This view doesn't encompass everybody that's on Discord, but it seems like there's a growing population within Discord that they use that. They have one view outside of Discord, and they go to Discord to discuss and talk behind people's back, right? About shit that they wouldn't have the balls, to say either on YouTube or in somebody's face. Not that the shit that's talked in YouTube, anybody would say face to face. I guarantee you, Dave, nobody would be standing in front of you making threats about your family or anything else.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But now you put another level of anonymity in Discord to where it's not even being seen publicly and only in a small controlled demographic. It seems like it gets worse over there. That's why I never got involved with that. I never got involved with Discord because I think it's a little whatever. If I got a problem or want to discuss something, I'll do it here. But then the other personality that was involved in that conversation is becoming a growing thorn in my ass, right? But it seems that a lot of other people are accepting what he says, but his opinions seem to become pretty abrasive. And I don't know why the hell I'm even getting involved, being drug into anything on Discord, because I don't say anything about those people on Discord.
I didn't see what was said. I heard that it was something fairly innocuous that could have been taken either way. And if that's true, then I could play a lot of it up to you were busy in the middle of a challenging discussion with some challenging people, and maybe that wasn't good timing.
Well,
No, but that,
honestly, there's no reason. There was absolutely no reason to make any comment about my wife. Period. There's no reason to have anything that could be innocuous. You know, I've never made any comment ever about anybody's wife. So why the fuck would anybody want to put something out there that could be taken one way or the other? You know, and the comment, I don't know how innocuous it could. You know, look, my wife looks young. She does.
Yes, she does.
But she's not a kid.
No, but
she's college educated. She's a smart girl.
No, I don't think anybody said she was a kid. We know she's college educated. She does.
That was a statement. The statement said.
Dave, I had to head off the shitstorm because honestly, if those messages had gotten received, it would have been a shitstorm that would have lasted a month in a couple different houses.
How did you have to do anything?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But I had to let Johnny nip it in the butt.
Why?
Before it got to the other half.
Why?
She saw it.
Who saw it? His wife saw it?
Yeah.
What, was she hovering right over your shoulder?
Yeah. And actually our families have kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not trying to get all personal and shit. I didn't need this gigantic explanation. I just wanted to know why you would feed him that information right at that exact moment. You could have said, "Okay, I'll do this in just a second."
Well, no, because it was being typed, and the messages were going to go.
Good Lord. I think this is just my assessment. Okay, I get what you're saying about you shouldn't even say anything about wives. Agreed. But I don't think it was quite as harmful as all that. And the sender of the message probably didn't mean anything by
it. I think that because of who the sender was is what took me aback.
Yeah.
You know? And that's maybe part of my response to it was I haven't really said anything. This is the first time I'm saying anything publicly. Okay. The only two people or three people I've discussed this with is I asked a mutual party to the three of us his opinion on it. He never responded. And then I said something to you about it, and then Eric. That's it. You know, I didn't make a big deal of it. I was a little confused about it. I wanted some guidance and some more understanding about it, right? And then, you know, the other personality that we're discussing, the shit that he was talking was, you know, pretty aggravating, you know, and totally out of his ass. And it was all very, very confrontational. And hold on, let me... memory refresher here.
Memory refresher.
Let me see. Yeah, so JW is what you would call a bummer cockhead. Is JB going live? Could live in the Philippines, or will he live with his princess in the USA? You know, and then that fed into the other. Now, this is where, when you look at the context and the continuity of the full conversation, you know, you start, and then the next question happens to start bagging on my wife a little bit. It's easy to take it in that ascension. If you take the comment by itself, yeah, it's innocuous. But when you look at the context of the entire conversation, it's a little bit more nefarious in what the content is. So, I'm just going to leave that alone for now. But I would appreciate that people just don't, I have not, and there is no need, right, to be bringing because last year I had to deal with this. People bringing in, making threats to kill my wife and my unborn child and all this
Thank
other
God.
stuff. Well, you know that one.
I do now.
No, that was Alo.
Oh.
Yeah.
My God.
Alo was going to, remember, he was going to drive a jeepney into the U.S. Embassy. He was going to go down and kill my wife and unborn
I'm
child.
telling y'all, man, I only hear little bits and pieces of these shows. I didn't hear all of that. I got mad and I flipped off of that show. I was already pissed at the dude at the time.
Yeah. You know, now he's apologized. Come on. I'm not trying to restart new shit, guys, but you know, so I've had to deal. The point is that I've had to deal with this before.
Yeah.
And I'm just I'm not gonna keep cycling in and dealing with this.
No.
You know what I mean? But if it was more directly aggressive or something like that, I would say something in the individual's name. But because out of respect for that person, and you know, because the content is kind of questionable, you know. Oh, hey, something I want to tell you, Dave. Lawton had, I don't know what is going on. A lot of people are speculating for the purpose of it. Several of the military installations just did a rapid deployment. Oh, yeah. Have no idea why. And the National Guard in Oklahoma has been placed on standby.
We're going to war with Iran.
No, hey
guys,
I don't know.
Hold on. Before you go any further down the line, I asked for a goddamn link, and I have a little something to say, especially to you, Mr. Baggy of Life, because I'm unhappy right now. All right, this is what I mean it, JW. This is the way it rolls, okay? Discord is Discord. You are invited privately, okay? It's a forum. What was said about JW, shouldn't have been said true. But you know what? You shouldn't be releasing any information from Discord, Baggy of Life. You should just get the hell off of Discord. That's the way I see it.
Okay, let's preface this.
No,
again.
it's not
I
okay.
had somebody standing over me who was going to copy and paste.
You should keep your business to yourself. Okay. You should keep your business to yourself. So if somebody's going to be standing over you, watching what you're doing, guiding you, then you need to get the hell off Discord. That's the way I see it.
I got. You know what, Papa? I mean, I see what you're trying to say, but you know that right there, right, is kind of the fucking reason why the world's fucked up right now. So what you're saying is that somebody says something fucked up or does something fucked up, but as long as it's not known, it's not fucked up. I mean that's literally what you just said right now, Popeye. That it's okay to say and do what you want as long as it's not public or being seen by anybody.
What I said. Let me try again. You say
Discord is fucking Discord. All right? I mean, come on, own what you said. That's exactly what you said. And that's a little fucked up, dude, because that's the same damn bullshit that going on in society that even you said is messed up.
See, all right, instead of running over me, let me explain myself again. Okay? The way I look at it, and I just said it, and I prefaced it before I said what I said to Baggy of Life, is that, yeah, what was said was wrong. Okay? But, and I've also said, people who come into Discord have a reasonable right of privacy, okay? It's a bunch of guys that get together that talk shit, all right? And that's all it is talking shit. And there are some people that come in and take it seriously, and we have had a problem with people coming in and just sitting there and monitoring the conversations. And we have gotten rid of those people because they come out of Discord and they say, well, this is what they're talking about in Discord. Now, that's the way I see it. I mean, if this shit's gonna upset you, Bag Your Life, you should get off Discord. All right.
No, he's off Discord. They kicked him out. You guys kicked him out.
No, I didn't kick him out, and I didn't vote to kick him out. But what's said there is between those guys, and if they leave it there, what's wrong with that?
But it doesn't get left there, bro. And there's no here. You're just all you're doing is reiterating what I'm just saying, because anything that was said, right? Let's eliminate the fact that I now know about it. Okay. So what you're saying is it's cool as long as nobody knows about it to say whatever the fuck you want and start to have that toxic community and discussion that does bleed out of Discord.
I didn't say it was cool. I said it was wrong what it was said. And I said it's wrong. It shouldn't
it's wrong
bleed
because
out
I
of
know.
Discord. Okay?
And it's wrong. It's wrong because it's publicly known.
Right, you damn right it's wrong because it's publicly known.
It's wrong because it was said, period. That's the core issue.
Yeah. Did you talk with that person?
Which one?
That said what they said. Because I've never seen anybody in Discord talk about your wife.
Well, no. Did you hear what Dave and I were saying? Because Dave's right. It can be taken, one way or the other, benign or aggressive. So because of the person who said it, right, and because of the content, what it is, I'm just going to drop it. I said that, Popeye.
Okay.
Now, the other parts of what was said, right, trust me, that'll be taken up with that individual.
Okay.
Because he does say shit like that, all murmuring in the background constantly when I'm, he's sitting there chirping at nipping at my ankles everywhere I go. And it's becoming more and more fucking asinine from that particular individual.
Yeah. And I told that individual that that kind of shit needs to stop. Okay. And there are people out there that are going to pull your short hairs. I can guarantee it. But I think what really pisses me off the fucking most is even if a snitch is right, I don't like a fucking snitch. That's just me. All right. Maybe I may be a little wrong here, and I can admit it, and I can be a fucking man about it. But I fucking hate a snitch.
No, I got nothing on that.
Hey, what are these guys talking about? Hang and bang. What are you saying about my wife? I'm not even on Discord. I don't know nothing about this. I don't know if you guys seen the chat. That's why I come on.
No, I wasn't.
Hang and bang games?
No. Why did you delete him? That was Hang and Bang doesn't. Why'd you guys?
I didn't do that.
I didn't do it either.
I'm trying to figure out.
You got the trigger man in here.
Oh,
no, I didn't do it. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck he's talking about.
No, what he's saying, it had nothing to do with your wife, Larry. It was absolutely.
Why he says at expat prepper
at Baguio Life. Did not even stick up.
How do I take him out of? Hold on, I gotta.
Why did we put Dave in timeout?
I don't know.
I didn't.
Ed, take him out of timeout.
No, Ed blocked him completely.
Ed, unblock him.
No, I'm gonna go into the panel and try to do it. Hold on.
Okay.
I can totally see what his point is here. What he's saying. Okay, this is what he's saying, Expat Prepper, and I don't even think it's just directed towards you and Baguio Life or anything. But he's saying, nobody even stuck up for me in Discord, and he's saying that it seems like it was kind of given out for drama. Then it says. then he's questioning what was said about my wife in Discord, and I had answered that, and he says, if he or whoever he's directing this is at, and it's possibly you, Eric, if he was so concerned about it, why would he not defend you and your wife in Discord?
Can I address Popeye for a minute?
Hold on. And then he said, just my 2 cents. So there was nothing that he said that was. He's got a valid point. So, and that was something I was going to say, Popeye, right? And not just you, Popeye, but you, Eric, and everybody else. You know, we're all friends. No, you answered that, Popeye. You did, didn't you? You did talk to him about that, and you did say, well, you didn't address. Yeah, okay, never mind. You said that. I get it. All right, never mind. You addressed it. I'm thinking back in the conversation.
Okay, I like when people think out loud. That's
can I address something, Popeye? Okay, for one thing, somebody looked over my shoulder, saw it, and probably misconstrued it, and was about ready to pull the trigger on something that could have caused a fucking shitstorm. And due to the situation, it had to be nipped in the butt.
So what you're telling me, when I deal with the Baggio Life channel, or if I deal with you on any other forum, I'm dealing with 2 people.
No, it just was somebody was at the wrong place.
That's what you're telling me. That's what you're telling me.
What I'm trying to say is, walk by at the wrong time, the wrong thing was said, and it was probably taken in the wrong direction.
Dude, I'm not trying to be a dick, but this thing seems to happen pretty frequently with you. It seems like you jump the gun a lot of times, and you're kind of a people pleaser with some people.
Dude,
this is just my assessment. I mean, yeah, sure, this could have happened. I'm sure it could it have happened? Yeah. But come on. I mean, do you realize what kind of problems you caused doing this?
Okay, now assess this. Okay, if the people on the receiving end got it, it would have been a lot worse.
So you say, but what I'm saying is maybe that this didn't happen exactly the way we're saying it happened.
Well, let's get the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You're saying that somebody that's looking over your shoulder is going to lose their mind and go forward information to somebody else. Why would they do that?
Because of the friendship and the dynamic. Yeah,
and he is my not just my Asawa, but that the family that I'm associated with is good friends with Eric's wife.
I'm taking what I think a reasonable person or a reasonable woman in this case would do. And I'm not saying anything about anybody's spouse, so please don't get me wrong here. But I know for a fact that if somebody said something about somebody's wife in here that May was friends with, May wouldn't go straight to him and start talking about it.
That goes to the individual.
Like I said, reasonable person. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But I mean, this is neither here. It didn't go anywhere. It's fine. Yeah, it didn't. And I'm not making this a big deal, guys.
Except that it's actually at the end of that broadcast that was going on.
Yeah, okay, the timing probably wasn't the best.
That's all I'm saying is he could have held on for a few more seconds. That was it. I'm not trying to second guess what's going on here or what stays in Discord or whatever, or any of that stuff. All I'm saying is that was kind of shitty timing.
Well,
that's all.
And it being said, I'm not, like I said, Popeye and Dave, I'm not gonna make this into an issue with that particular comment. And the other comments I'm gonna take up directly with the other individual. You know what I mean? Because you guys have valid points in the context of what was said, but part of what was said. I mean, I'm rereading again in my head, or not my head, but rereading it here. One part of it was obviously being an absolute prick. The other one could have just, it could be off the cuff comment that, because what he said is valid, it is valid. It just, I don't think it was appropriate.
I'm sorry. I always thought your wife looked really young.
Oh no, I do. Everybody does. You know what I mean? And she,
Gibbs' wife too. She looks really young too.
Yeah, and which is fine. I mean, they're gonna look hot and smoking hot when they're 60. But you're right. It is something that I deal with. But everybody that I talk about her. I mean, she's been to college. She's been around. I mean, it's not like she's some fucking 18-year-old whatever. No. I don't quite understand what the hell. And to be totally honest, whose fucking business is it?
I didn't say it was anybody's business. I just
I'm saying it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's to the point where if people are going to want to make comments like that, period, whether they're meant to one way or the other, it's really nobody's business, And I'm thick-skinned enough about that particular topic that it just concerns me. The biggest concern was who it came from. That was the thing I think that stung the most. You know what I mean? And it was being perceived from my point of view at that time as a real negative comment. But, hey, it is what it is, and it's not the first time people are going to talk shit.
I can't take it into whole context because I don't know who that comment came from, but I can only surmise about the other comment because of the lead-in you gave. And shit like that can sting like a motherfucker from people you know. Okay?
Hey, go into Facebook for a minute and read the message I sent you, Popeye, please. And then you'll raise an eyebrow and go, oh, well, that's kind of odd. But it's just one of those things. I mean, this is a dead horse, really. It is what it is, and it's a pretty accurate snapshot at the current state of some of the community in the Philippine vlogging.
Okay, my eyebrow is raised.
What's that?
My eyebrow is raised.
See what I mean?
That's totally unexpected. But
exactly. And that's the only reason why there's even in any room for me just to drop it. You know what I mean?
You know what? This is how I would have handled it if I was Eric. I would have private messaged that person and said WTF. That's what I would have done.
Okay,
because Johnny, well, let me finish. Because Johnny is not in Discord, but you were. And that's what you should have done. And that's one of the things I do in Discord. When I see a fucked up comment, I private message that person and say, hey, what the fuck, man? Let's think about this for a minute, what we're saying here. I mean, because Discord was made for the boys to get together, have fun, and a way to pass links so some dirtball wouldn't put porn on our live stream. You know what I mean, Vern?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's a lot of people don't understand social etiquette when it comes to these different platforms. Right? And they just, get excited and everything goes out the fucking window. All right? And there was no excuse for it to even get to this point. That's the way I see it.
And then the silence came.
Actually, I had to switch over to my phone, and because my jack on the computer seemed to went belly up.
Is that why there's two dogs?
Yeah.
Two Triumph the Insult comic dogs, man.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
They who's breathing?
Who do you think?
How are you doing it in the phone? I mean, I get it on the internet when you have the mic thing on, but how are you doing it on the phone?
What I did was I went back into Messenger, clicked the link.
No,
that
I meant how are you breathing so heavy on the phone?
Because you have succulent, supple nipples.
A lot of work getting on the phone.
Yeah. Look, and the point of the conversation is, you know, and I'm going to be totally honest. When Eric and I originally were going to do this content, we were going to pin the ears back of a particular individual, and you know that's the whole time to face the music thing. But the reality is, at that point in time, that the message and the direction we're trying to go gets drowned out by that action or reaction. So we're not going to do that. That's not it. I'll address my issues with that individual, you know, at the opportunities that I can, you know, because I'm not in Discord. You're right, Popeye. I'm not. So that gives me the right and the freedom to be able to address my shit and open air conversation right here on YouTube.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it, dude.
What's that?
No ifs, ands, or buts about it, dude.
You know, because I mean, I'm just a little kind of, I don't know. I don't even know why I get brought up in it. But then again, you can't please everybody all the time, you know. So it is what it is. And Eric, you so got to stop smoking. You do got to stop smoking.
Yes.
And using dog icons.
No.
I like the dog icons. But you got to stop using Sergeant Major. Don't say it again.
Sorry.
The thing, you know.
Well, thanks to you, I got a smile in Facebook pics now.
Sweet. Hey, Larry, you still on?
Yeah, go. Yeah, I'm here.
I mean, do you have anything you want to say or do or talk about, or because you're just over there all quiet like?
No, see, I'm not on Discord, so you know, I never sign up for that. So.
No, moving past that and everything like
meaningful dialogue.
Trying to redevelop an area.
I just think there's one thing that, you know, at least everybody on here can all agree on. You know, nothing comes good from talking about anybody's family members, be it, you know, someone's spouse or children. We're always going to have disagreements amongst ourselves, but there's no reason to say anything derogatory about someone else's family members. That's the way I see it.
I just think that I've always viewed that as a kind of a off, you know, limit thing. That's something that an individual addresses on their own. So,
well, Larry, I'm in Discord right now, and I'm just talking shit about you. You wouldn't believe the shit I'm saying. You want to come on over and see it?
You just worry about cutting your lawn there, Popeye. I saw that picture.
You know what? Why are you such a fucking idiot? And I'll tell you why you're such a fucking idiot.
Okay, right? Go ahead. Tell me, Popeye.
All right. Just what you just said. Cut your lawn. How do you know that's my lawn? And why would you give... Let me finish.
I don't know.
Right, you don't. And why would you lend any credibility to those fuckwads who dox
because of what you just
do
said.
Shit like that? Right?
You were joking with me, Popeye. You were joking with me. You just said
no. You did this. You did this shit on the goddamn. You did this shit on the goddamn RRR show, and trust me, that wasn't a hard fucking question at all. All right, so I would appreciate it if you wouldn't give credibility to fucking shitbirds like that.
Popeye,
that's all I have.
Joked with. Well. I'll take that under consideration, Popeye.
That's great. I'm glad you're finally hearing.
Cricket. Is there? Hey, Popeye, can you do me a favor?
Mm-hmm.
I need you to kind of pick it up a little bit, and I need you to tell it the way it is. I need you to be a little bit more, aggressive in your comments, and I need you to be a little bit more, honest about what your opinions are. Do you think you could do that?
Yeah, I could tell it like it is. No fucking problem.
All right.
No.
I just need to make sure. I'm just gonna take this for whatever it is, but look at us right now, right? What the fuck are we talking about? We're talking about Cheese Miz, dude. That's literally the driving force behind this disdain between grown-ass men, right? And
hey, I can take it. If somebody wants to give it out, I'll give it out right back. I don't give a shit.
That's not really the point. The point is, I mean, we should have enough fucking mutual respect and a friendship built that this shouldn't even be fucking happening, But that's another reason why I'm trying to stay out of it to the degree where I'm contributing to it, but I'm going in and making sure I'm making clear, no, you need to. The doxing shit's got to stop. I'll advocate that anywhere, and I think it was kind of piss poor how using Dave as an example in the conversation of how the collateral damage gets pulled in when somebody doesn't even say anything and gets pulled into a conversation and all this heinous shit's fucking said about him.
You okay there, Darth? You okay there, Darth Vader?
Yeah. Can I chime in here?
Apparently. No. Your show.
Okay. Popeye, I got the utmost respect and got mad respect for you because you tell it like it is. You're an honest motherfucker. Okay?
Now here's the part where you say something shitty.
Okay. But here's the thing. I've noticed it in kind of everybody's chat, and more on one side or the other, that what Dave tried to get the message out that the trolls are driving everybody.
Yeah.
Which is leading to the schoolyard bullshit.
I've actually put that out on my channel, telling people that there are idiots that come into your channel. They try to drive the narrative, okay, and try to get you lit up and talk about what you want. You know what I do with those fucking idiots? Bang, I block them. It's over, okay? I'm not going to fucking put up with it anymore. Don't come on my channel if you think you can drive the narrative through what you're saying in the live chat. It's not going to fucking happen. I'm actually going to speak about what I want to do. If you come in and you're obscene and you're talking shit about somebody's familia or you're doxing, you're fucking blocked. That's the way it's going to roll from now on. I'm not going to fucking put up with
it. What's the connection between the trolls and Popeye telling it like it is?
I just had to give him some mad respect because I got respect for him. That's one of the things that I admire about Popeye and respect. He tells it like it is, and he doesn't hold anything back. He doesn't tiptoe and dance. If you're fucked up, he's the one that tells you you're fucked up.
Some person will get drunk. Well, that's an eventuality. Just let it. The way I see it is, let it go until the next time. I mean, think of it as the OK Corral with like 5 Ike Clantons in it.
Well, and
please don't shoot me.
Here's something that I do want to point out is that I think you guys over on RR Radio have a future focus that is quickly becoming something more and more nefarious in his actions, the history of his actions. And that I see, that's the kind of stuff that I think we, instead of like devouring each other or cannibalizing each other, I think that's the kind of focus that's actually constructive, no matter how degenerate it gets in the conversation. It's constructive conversation because you're pointing out a douchebag. You're pointing out somebody who's
you're looking
criminal.
at the positives, and I agree with you, Johnny. I agree with you 100%. Here's the problem with all this stuff. You got three really good channels that are talking about stuff, and then you got a bunch of residual channels that don't have a fucking clue what they're going to talk about next. And so they just hop on to the next subject. The whole Shield channel came about, and they admitted this as a way to answer Riff Raff Radio. They started this by doing this. This isn't they're clever or anything like that. They did this to themselves. Okay, that's one thing. Now, I agree with you about the one thing, but I'm going to tell you something that pisses me the fuck off in one way and it makes me happy in another way. When this old Babos thing was going down a year ago, wasn't nobody there backing us up. Not a goddamn soul. And
No,
now
you're right,
everybody's
man.
Well, guess what? Marco's gone now. We took care of that. Who the fuck are we? Who's we?
Hey, I want to end this thing with Popeye right here tonight, right now. I don't want to walk away and have bad feelings about this. Popeye, you were giving me some shit on our radio about going on the show. That's why the next time when I went on there, I kidded you about that picture of your lawn. I didn't say anything, and when you just said that you were on Discord talking shit about me, that's why I brought it up. I didn't appreciate you calling me an asshole.
I gotta be really honest with you, Larry. You can do whatever you want, but they're always talking about how we're judged by the people we hang out with. The same goes for you.
Well.
Yeah, no, there's no well. There's really no well. There's no too bad about it.
Yeah, there is a well. I'm going over there.
Okay, you do what you want. I said that. You're a free person. You can do whatever you want, but these people all talk about how we're judged by the people we hang out with. The knife cuts both ways.
I don't really care. I don't really care.
I didn't ask you if you cared. I didn't care. I didn't ask if you cared, Larry. I'm just telling you the truth.
Ask me or not.
Okay,
I don't give a shit.
Good.
I'll do what the fuck I want, and I'll go where the fuck I want. You're not going to tell me any different.
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you what to do, Larry. You're not listening to me.
Go ahead and judge me. Go ahead and judge me.
I'm not judging you, Larry. I'm not judging you. I'm telling you. Larry, hey, are you gonna let me talk? You gonna let me talk, Larry?
Yeah, you seem to be talking a lot.
I do that. It's my weakness is talking, you know. Otherwise, there would be like blank space if I didn't talk. What I'm saying is that's what they said. That's all I said. I'm not saying that I'm judging you, Larry. Obviously, hey, Larry.
I go over there because they let me on. Sometimes you just fucking question me. I'm telling you, I go over there.
I didn't question you at all. I didn't ask you a single question.
You questioned what I do. You said
I didn't question what you did. I didn't ask you a single question.
I'm going over there.
Do what you want.
I'm going to keep
nobody
going
cares.
over there too.
Larry, nobody cares.
Apparently you do, because you chimed in. I was talking to Popeye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did chime in. You're right. What's your point?
I just made it.
I didn't understand it.
Well, I did.
Okay. Like I said, do whatever you want, dude. I don't care about that.
Anyways, I'm trying to talk to Popeye. Popeye, okay. I'll tell you right now, I'm sorry if I teased you about that picture, all right? If it bothers you that much.
No, it wasn't the teasing that bothered me. Now, I'll try again. When you do something like that, you lend credibility to their doxing.
Well, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
I don't give a fuck if you agree with it. That's what you're doing. Okay. It's plain and simple. Okay.
No, I don't think so. I said from the beginning.
I think you're a little.
Like anybody.
I don't like anybody fucking with anybody's
family.
Well, then, if you don't like that,
sit over there and listen to him talk about our families all the time.
Yeah, but why are you hanging on that channel if you don't like that? That's all my question is.
No, yeah, you told him that, and you're still over there. Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, what about Aloe? What about Aloe?
What about Aloe?
You were silent when he said that bullshit about Jay's father.
I wasn't even on that day, I don't think.
He said it more than once, and you guys just sat there with your trap shut.
Oh, you mean after? Okay, here we go. Now we know where it is. This was
No,
after
it goes
the.
both ways.
No,
Dave.
hold on. This
You
is
should
after
be
the
talking about
doxing
your
thing.
family.
Was
and
this
you
after
should
the?
be talking about
Was
their
this?
family.
Hey, Larry, was this after the doxing thing?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was, Larry. It totally was, 100%. Is
I
after
don't
they
care
said
if it's after or before. Nobody should be talking about nobody's family on
nobody
here.
should. Nobody. They talked about the families first. They started it.
He shouldn't have did that.
Hey, they talked about it first. They talked about going after wives and girlfriends. Do you remember that, Larry?
Hey, I'm not defending them
That's what I'm
about that.
talking about.
Yes, I remember that.
Okay. Thank you. I just wanted that answer.
I don't think you should have kept your mouth shut when Popeye was making jokes about Jay's dad. That was on your show.
Popeye was.
him.
I didn't make
sorry,
a joke.
No, he didn't make that
hold
joke.
on.
He absolutely didn't.
I misspoke. Aloe. You guys
Yeah,
both
you
kept your
misspoke.
trap shut.
You misspeak a lot, man. I think
Seems
maybe
like
you
it.
should
You guys
open your
both
own
kept your
channel up
mouth
and get
shut.
the facts
You
straight.
let them get away with that. Everybody knows it.
This was after
Laugh.
they threatened to
Laugh.
dox. I will laugh, Larry. I'll laugh at whatever I want. I know you don't. You don't like listening, man. You don't like listening.
Stupid as hell, man.
Well, it's even more stupid to go after people's families and tell people to go after their families and dox them, right?
I agree.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you. Hey, Larry, what would your reaction be if somebody did
I'd be upset. I'd be
you'd be
upset.
upset, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, everybody gets upset in different ways, right, Larry?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why you're arguing with me, Larry.
Hey, you're just as bad as anybody else.
I'm
right?
bad now? Oh, wow.
Yeah. You kept your trap shut when Aloe said that horrible shit about Jay's dad. I was shocked.
Larry, I just told you what happened. The guy threatened to dox people and told people to go after families. You know how serious that was?
So you let that shit fly. Oh,
Larry, do you know how serious that was, what happened?
it was very serious.
Very, very, very serious.
Don't
And
make it
nobody
right,
spoke
Dave.
up. And no,
Two wrongs
no,
don't make it
that's,
right.
that's an old wives' tale. There would be no wars fought if
It's
two
an old
wrongs never
wives'
make a right.
tale? Yeah.
Yeah, it is an old wives' tale. There'd never be any wars or any defenses if nobody took a stance, Larry.
Oh, taking a stance, letting that shit fly. What he
Oh
said
my
about
God!
his dad.
You're so focused on that one thing. He said that other things about him. Okay.
Aloe said that multiple times on your show.
After the fact, Larry. After the
Yeah,
fact.
and you kept your mouth shut about it multiple times. You didn't speak up.
No, I didn't. keep My mouth shut about it. I had Jay on the show, and they were allowed to discuss it on there.
At
Remember?
the time, you didn't say anything.
Oh, for the love of God, Larry! I had the two on the show to duke it out.
I'm just saying that is awful, man. On
I'm
both
just
sides.
saying-
The
I'm
shit
just
that was
saying-
said.
I'm just saying that what you're doing right now, you're over there with those guys, and they're running
No,
their
I'm
mouths
not.
about us.
I'm
Yeah,
not-
you are.
I'm not defending them. I go
Oh,
over there.
you're not speaking up, are you?
Yeah, I do. The fuck is that?
I don't know. It's not.
Somebody's
me. It sounds like a
vibrator going
vibrator. It is a false equivalence. Gypsy's right. It's a complete false equivalence. When you start this stuff, somebody's going to take it to the other extreme because I didn't speak up. I brought Jay on the show to talk. Aloe wanted to talk to him. It was a good discussion, or it was kind of a good discussion. I don't think anything went wrong, and we should have gotten past it at that point. But what happened? They decided to take it to the next level.
So. Yeah.
I really don't care what he thinks. He said a lot of horrible things. If he wants to come to me and reconcile with me, or at least talk to me, he's quite welcome to. I won't even give the other guy any credence at all. Yeah, you got a problem with me? That's fine. I really, at this point, I don't care.
Well, I don't care either.
Okay, good. Moving on.
You know, this, I want to kind of, I'm reading some of the stuff that's going on in the chat.
This is a
Right.
troll right here. I'm just going to get rid of him.
Okay.
I know who that is.
Who is it? Tell me.
Our favorite trucker.
Again? Oh, is he?
Yep, he's back.
Yeah, he's not a very happy person. Come on, Dave. Alo's the super troll, and you support him. I do nothing of the sort. I'm not going to get involved in your guys' little side battles. If I had to defend Alo every time Alo said something, I would never sleep. Okay? Alo does what Alo does.
Yes, he does. And did we not explain to everybody from RRR that we have our own opinions?
Separate opinions.
And we do not agree with each other?
And, by the way, Larry, since you're still here, if you remember correctly...
I remember you saying to Jay, oh, you have people on your show that are saying bad things about me, and you don't you don't even stop. That's exactly what you said.
You're unbelievable. You're unbelievable. I'm about to tell you something, Larry. That's what I was going to do. I was about to say, before all this started, I want nothing to do with ripping on Bama about anything. I don't care what Bama does. I don't support what he does, but I don't care what he does. And they found a way to draw me into it. That's what I said. When you draw me into something, I'm going to step back, and when somebody goes at you, I'm going to be like, hey, that's your problem.
I agree. You were silent at first.
No, it wasn't because you're talking about two completely different things.
No. Yeah, I am.
Yes, you are.
This particular thing that you got drawn into, I agree with that. You were quiet when everybody started railing on Bama.
And then they drew me into it. You think I'm gonna? You think I'm just gonna? You think that I'm gonna go? Now, Alo, you're taking it a little too far. Shame on you, Alo. No.
You
know what you're dealing with. You know what you're dealing with. You know what you're dealing with.
His dad dies of cancer.
Well,
and he said he was going to laugh when his dad died, and to think of him. You guys sat there and didn't say nothing about it.
What the fuck did you want me to say?
That's a horrible thing to say, Alo. You should have confronted him.
It's kind of a given that it's a horrible thing to say, Larry.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But you're missing the entire point of the timeline. I don't understand how you're missing the timeline, Larry, where they started this by doxing people and telling people to go after their girlfriends and wives.
I heard Jay say that, and I didn't agree with that.
Did you speak up about it?
Yes, I did.
Really?
I've been getting shit on, but I'm telling you I did. If you don't want to believe it, go ahead.
I didn't say I didn't believe it. I just haven't heard it. Now, up until this point, Larry, you and I haven't had any issues.
That's true.
So, why the sudden change of heart?
I don't have a change of heart, Dave. I'm just saying I don't like people telling people that they wish their family would die of cancer or get cancer. I don't. No. Let me finish. I don't like when they said to bother you guys as family. I don't like that at all on both sides, Dave.
See, this is turning into just what I'm trying to say is over there. They say I'm the face of this and all this other stuff, and I'm the target. I'm easy because you've seen my face and I'm public knowledge. And so they direct all their hate toward me. And they've been doing it for a while. I'm not going to try and control what other people are saying on that channel if they're not going to try and control what other people are saying on their channel. Does that make sense now?
I see your point, Dave.
So, like a guy trying to threaten to hit me with a fucking baseball bat in the knees, or a guy saying I molested my niece and said I should be shot in the head. That's okay, though, right? They're not culpable.
No, it's not okay, Dave.
But I'm culpable for Alo, right? I'm culpable for Alo, right?
Well, okay. Here I want to interject something.
Yeah, have you ever said to anybody, the leader of that channel, that he's culpable for what his personnel said? I think not. All right? So I don't really care for fucking double standards here. Okay?
I've been into it with those guys over there about shit that was
and
said.
I've watched them run you over like a fucking train. And
well,
you're talking
yeah,
to the
and
wall.
we're running him over like a train here too. So hold up a minute. All right. So here's one fucking blanket statement that both channels are culpable for actions that are being said, because, you know, here we are, we're, you know, and I've heard this, and I am not taking sides, but I'm just telling the facts. RRR is over there saying that, you know, Jay has responsibility for the actions that are said. Maybe they didn't come out of Jay, but he's responsible for the things that are said on his channel because he organizes the panel. He organizes and manages the chat room. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that assessment. But at the same time, you can't sit there and make that claim and then turn back and say, well, I'm not culpable for what goes on my fucking channel. That's just ignorant. All right. So both channels have issues related to the context of the conversation that's coming out of it. And both channels are responsible for the actions, the dialogue, and the narrative that comes out of their chat rooms and from their panel. Everybody is culpable to that. Because any one of you can stop it. Any one of you could say something and throw a wrench in the mechanism of the conversation. So that argument, nobody has a fucking ounce of weight to it, period. Now, some of the other stuff you guys are talking about is legitimate. The you know, the atrocity of what was being said. I mean, nobody should be making fucking physical threats, period. You know, that's just beyond asinine. You know, but at the same time, talking about it, getting it out, discussing the fact that doxing is fucking dangerous as shit, right? And everybody at this point has agreed that that does have to stop. You know, that has to stop, because I think it, you know, maybe like Robert, in your situation in the U.S., I honestly think that, you know, that would probably be the most likely scenario that somebody's going to get hurt. No, say that again, Dave, please.
I was just saying, and the most dangerous. Exactly.
Because somebody is going to be dead, not beat up or whatever. Because Florida is a stand your ground state. All right. Now in the Philippines, you know, for you, Dave, I mean, a lot of the people in the community don't got the balls to show up and do anything anyway, so the odds are less. But it's no less dangerous when you're talking about the rhetoric of trying to dox somebody's location in the Philippines, because now you get these psychos that are not maybe they don't have the balls to do it themselves, but they got a little extra cash and can get it done. So it's irresponsible across the board, period. The doxing's got to stop. You know, that is, you know, look, having verbal discord, having verbal arguments, having whatever, I mean, that's going to happen. I mean, that happens. Fuck it. And honestly, I don't even understand. This is something that I don't understand, is the hang up of if you don't mind, Dave, I'm not picking on you and me. I'm not trying to do the you know, self-deprivation thing, but Dave and I have a lot of arguments, but that is also part of the way we communicate. You know what I mean? He gets pissed off at me, I get pissed off at him, but at the end, it's the way we deal with shit, right? That's manning up. That's like, okay, I don't like what you said. This is my opinion, but being smart enough to take the opinion in and go, okay, well, I respect your opinion, but here's my opinion, prick. That kind of thing, right? Here we are, we're doing this shit like a bunch of fucking manginas, where it just kind of keeps spinning and growing and getting in, and there's no fucking end to it. There's no mutual, you know, there's not going to be a fix to it, because there's such a divide between the two sides' opinions. But at some point, it's got to be, you know, and I don't even know how to do that. Although
that's exactly what I was talking about, Johnny. I said it's a real simple fix. Shut your fucking mouths over there. Real simple. I won't say a goddamn word.
Well, I'm not defending anybody, but you gotta admit, the last couple nights they haven't said a damn thing, and some of the content's actually been a little interesting. But it is you're right. You know, you're right. It just it's got to be.
Can I make?
dropped.
Can I make it?
Listen, as early as yesterday, Focus Photoshop was yelling at me.
Yes.
He's going to kick my ass, and he wanted me to meet him halfway. What are we going to meet on the mountaintop between Jinsan and Davao? I mean, it's so dramatic, and it's so unnecessary. I'm not scared. I just think I just roll my eyes. I'm like, no, I don't want to fight because I don't want to hurt you. 1, 2, it's ridiculous to fight over here the way you guys are talking about. Take your drunk bravado and keep it over there on your channel, but keep me out of it.
And that's agreeable because that was that exact conversation was a context of what started the dialogue between him and I on that show. And I'm with you because you weren't the only one on that, dude. You know, he was wrapping me and you up in the same, you know, whatever. But you know, I whatever. Go ahead, Eric.
I got an assessment. I think Dave is right. Everybody's kind of right. We're having meaningful dialogue. Yes, it did stop over there, but my assessment is that because they don't have control of their chat rooms, they don't have control of their panels, the shit's going to get stirred up again.
Well, how about we give it an opportunity to find out what's going on? Because I think that I'll tell one thing. I don't know. I don't know because I have not had a dialogue on this topic at all with Barry, right? But last night we had a dialogue on the topic with Jay, and it really honestly, Jay said publicly, it is a concern and it is a safety issue. And so a lot of his panel was saying the same thing. So I'm, and you're right, Dave. I am an optimist, and I'm always looking for the positive. But I'm saying that they actually have, you know, a good foreground. I think they're going to start policing themselves, and because there has been a couple times in not just the discussion that we had yesterday, but the night before. That was the night between Mr. Focus's rant and the discussion. They were actually, a couple people on the panel were saying, okay, it is so done, just leave it alone, stop in the chat room. And I heard that twice. So maybe after yesterday's discussion, or today's discussion, that gets confusing because it was yesterday for me, but it's today for you, let's see what happens. Give them an opportunity to actually, you know, can it. You know, if somebody's willing to commit to do something, we should commit to giving them the opportunity to doing it. Is what I'm saying.
That's what I'm doing. But it seems like it doesn't ever stop. If it stops, it stops. I mean, it's very simple. The minute it stops, I stop. And I've made that commitment. But I'm not gonna have guys over there threatening to kick my ass every day that couldn't physically do it or wouldn't do it even if they actually mustered the drunken courage to do it. And I'm going to tell you another thing I'm going to add to this is I'm tired of these little passive-aggressive assessments on their channel when they don't have anything to talk about. That's just me.
I mean, seriously, they do get subliminal over there.
Say that again 3 times.
Subliminal.
Subliminal?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, I think you guys are right about they're trying to drive views and they're using you guys to drive views.
Of course they are.
They are. That's an assessment I made. And I think I was rude. I was told I was rude today, but I think my point got across to the guy to the point where he wants Johnny to reach out to you on his behalf to try to have meaningful dialogue.
Who's this?
Mr. Focus. Look, Dave heard it, right? And Dave has an opinion on that, but Dave heard the whole thing, and we didn't have to do anything. But that is actually between the two of them.
Yeah, and I made that point.
Okay.
And
I'm sorry.
Secondly, I made the point to Bama. As me, I accept he was man enough to make a public apology for what he said about the PTSD thing. And I made it expressly to him. I don't care what you guys fight about. Okay, just try to keep the collateral damage to a minimum, because it was actually starting to bleed out from one side to other people's shit. I'm done.
I found the entire 8-hour Scream drunk session hilarious, man. It was laughable. I didn't even think it was possible. But when you start making threats to me and stuff like that you know you can't carry out and you know you have no intention of following through on, it's just over the top. It's just over the top. Still love me, Larry?
Oh yeah, yeah. You were the no, I'm serious. You were the first person that showed me some kindness and on this genre. One of the first persons that I met back on your old channel.
I want to say something really positive about Mr. Larry. Larry and I have been in conversation for almost I want to say almost 2 years now. I was talking to him when he was back in the States getting his medical stuff done. He's a good-natured guy with a good heart. He just enjoys being around, the topics and stuff like that in the talk. Larry, I don't have any issue with you, man. I'm a shit starter, man. I apologize.
I apologize too. I feel bad about
no.
It's called reactionary.
And Larry, I'm going to tell you right from the get-go, buddy, that if I wasn't able to pull your fucking short hairs and give you some shit, and I got to give you props, you took it like fucking man, but I have no ill will.
Well, thank you, Popeye. I don't have any ill will against you or anybody on here, and I feel bad about some of the things I said tonight.
Larry, you just sent me a fucking Facebook message telling me that you think I'm a prick and you hope that I fucking die in hell.
He was just telling you the fucking truth, all right?
Hey, I got a question. I got a question for Johnny.
Okay. What's your question?
Okay, hey Johnny, did you pinch off a Popeye yet today?
Ooh.
And wipe my Eric? No.
Oh. I have no ill will. I'm actually, I can say from my standpoint, since thanks to Johnny, I'm learning how to communicate, something I should do better.
Well, another thing you should do is stop smoking and cutting off the oxygen to the fucking brain.
Please, everybody tell him to stop smoking. The dude's gonna fucking die in a month.
Dude, you sound like the fucking goddamn pulmonary fucking ward, man. All you can hear is the breathing.
They're telling you that for your own good, man. I'm not talking shit either. You really should stop. It's really bad for your entire body. It can cause multiple organ failures. It can cause all kinds of problems.
Well, and actually, I have to stop smoking before Johnny moves to Baguio, or he's gonna fucking beat my ass in the SM food court.
Dude, you know what
you're not allowed over the house, and that's not me, dude. You know that.
I'm telling you, man. Just walk away from the shit. Just stop smoking. I did it. I'm not saying, and you can do it too. You just have to stop. Just throw it away.
Friends offering to teach me to vape.
No,
I mean,
no, don't do that. Okay, you need to just put it all fucking down. All right, the vaping has nicotine in it, and it's gonna fuck you up, and you're gonna do it more. All right,
Popeye's right. Popeye's right.
Is that harmful?
Put the shit down.
Yeah, so fucking vaping has nicotine in it, and nobody knows the effects of the vaping, even when you can buy the shit that doesn't have the nicotine in it. So don't fuck with fire, all right? Step away from the bullshit products, all right? Man up and put that shit down.
Wow.
People that give a shit about you.
Actually, I just had a quintessential emotion.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I got your quintessential emotion hanging fucking low, buddy. If you want it, let me know.
Oh man, I didn't know there was that much. I didn't know there was that much beefsteak on a pussy, Popeye. How low does that quintessential emotion hang?
I got a fucking clit that's as long as your fucking nose, motherfucker. And that's pretty long.
Oh, shit.
Hey Johnny, I'm telling you, we're gonna one of these days we're gonna walk into Westpac Sailor and we're gonna hear that voice and be, oh fuck.
There's no oh fuck, man. It's gonna be a beer time, dude. That's what it's gonna be. I'm looking forward to that one.
All right, I'm gonna get out of here. You guys, thanks for letting me on. I'm gonna go have a beer and get some sleep.
Yeah, I think we're actually pretty much more or less
Actually, for meaningful dialogue for everybody out there, I want to answer me this question. Dave, why does everybody think you have a magical wand you can wave over and control Aloe?
I don't know if people. I don't think that was the message here, but I'll put that out if that's what people want to hear. I don't have a magical wand I can wave over anyone. I have no control over anyone. None. I'm not trying to. This was the message that came out earlier from Wilkie that I'm trying to control people. I'm not trying to control anyone. I'm doing my own thing. I just thought at the time with the misinformation that I had or the incomplete information that I had that I should have been read in on something. Turns out it had nothing to do with me. I made a public apology on my own channel. The video's up for all time. And I see that as the end of it, man. I don't want to be enemies with any of these guys.
Yeah, so I got one final question for you, Baggy of Life. Why are you going to take this down after 24 hours? This should stay up.
This is a good video.
It should stay up.
If you guys would have heard the past couple shows, we put it out.
No, just leave it right there, Eric. Because here's why. Because this is an example of having dialogue, as rough as it can be, as rough as it turns out sometimes when people have this is an emotional topic because of the things that was said. But look at the end result. They were able to. Each person was able to communicate it, and each person was able to get some resolve out of it. I think it's good, and it should stay up because it is a positive thing. My opinion.
I agree.
Which matters none.
Finally, got a good opinion. Jesus Christ. It's about time.
But we should wrap it up because it's just kind of
Leave this up.
I don't know. We're sitting at 40.
Okay, but that's not the reason to keep.
Yeah, I know.
Actually,
I got some stuff that was brought to my attention I have to do anyway. So
there you go.
Oh, don't forget. Oh, another positive came out today. You got what, $100 in
donations to the GoFundMe account for Operation Backpack, man. $100 freaking bucks, man. That is badass.
Hey, can Graham put the link to that in the chat, please?
Yeah.
Are you sticking balloons in that in those backpacks?
No, man. They do get a water bottle though.
Okay. Cool. I was just wondering, man. I think a balloon would be a nice treat for the kids.
No, we I know that's not your but I wanted to take a minute to really kind of each one of those backpacks are focused in two factors. One, it's grade appropriate because each grade has different requirements, right? Like different type of writing paper, different, obviously the lower level elementary schools need crayons versus, the 4th and 5th graders. And they also, the backpack is either a female or a male backpack. So we try to kind of do the best we can that these kids are prideful of what they're getting and the quality of the content is what it's getting, and the school is happy because it's content that is relevant to that child attending that class. So there's a lot of work, a lot of background work associated with this, and it is not, Eric supplied the vehicle transportation in Alaska from Manila all the way up into Solano. And secondly, Gib and I are not the ones that are actually doing the purchasing. It's the Filipino family that's associated with us. They're the ones, Mayasawa and her sister are the ones that are going out there buying it, and then they get together and they pack them. And, they're really invested. This is something they get excited about. Their younger sisters get involved with the handouts and packing. You should have seen the pictures that I was getting of them sitting in Gib's living room doing this. It was great. It was cool.
That's fantastic. I give you a Bravo Zulu on it, both you and Gib.
Bravo Zulu, look, I'm here in the U.S. trying to drum money up. I'm going to go, this guy at Travel Loco gave me some insight to getting some corporate sponsors that I'm doing this next week. But honestly, Bravo Zulu goes to the expat community, the Philippine expat community, and the chat, and because 80% of the money has come from donors that are either Philippine expats or listeners of your guys' shows and stuff like that. So that's where the Bravo Zulu goes, man.
Very well.
Good stuff. All right, Eric, you can wrap it up.
I'm up. With this issue
Eric.
after this.
Hello, Eric. Are you
Yes.
there, Eric?
Yeah.
He's got to break it up. Well, guys,
Yeah.
thanks for coming on and having the dialogue, dude. It's been freaking awesome. I'm gonna jet out of here. So, peace out,
I'm jetting
guys.
too. Peace. Later. We're out of here.